Welcome to Soccer Gaming and welcome to the channel where you will learn some tips and tricks as well as guides and tutorials on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. As always, the content will help you become a better Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 player, and in this episode we are going to go over the tips that you need to know for Warzone launch. Warzone 2.0 is officially out and I want to cover everything that you need to know going into it. So if you'd like to watch that, stick around. So I want to cover kind of the things that you need to know about the brand new Battle Royale Warzone 2.0. Not a lot has changed from 1.0 as far as like how the game actually works, but a few things that you do need to know going into it. So the first thing is in settings, you need to go over to your settings, and if you're on a controller or grab whatever you're playing on, there are a few things you need to change. The graphics mode, you're going to go over to view. You want to make sure this is at 120, and the reason being you're going to be able to see a lot more things going on. You can see there in the picture on the right, if you're just playing at 60 and you're just playing, like you're basically losing half of your screen as far as what you're able to see in the screen, and that is very important that you do that. Next thing you're going to want to change is in game, and I am on controller, so these are going to be controller stats, but you can do it on mouse and keyboard as well. And the biggest thing is we're going to want to make sure you know your button layout and how everything kind of works there, but you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to your stick sensitivity. Mine's at 8, which is pretty high as far as they consider it, so it's higher than what they consider as high. But you want to make sure that you're just comfortable with this and you can kind of get around and do the things you need to do with whatever sensitivity you play on. As far as the gameplay itself, this is going to be kind of something that you want to look at as well, because this is going to be whether you sprint. If you just want to sprint all the time without having to click everything, this might be an option that you want to change. Your equipment behavior, this is going to be stuff like in game. Your weapon mount activation, again, is how you're going to mount to things. Your interaction and reload behavior, and this is something that you probably want to change if you're playing in Warzone. If you want to like the old Warzone, I believe it's called prioritize interaction, which means that if you're running through and you're clicking X, it's going to be picking up things. If you're wanting to reload, you're going to have to hold X, unless you're just running without being able to pick anything up, so you're not actually in front of something. You can click X and it will reload for you, so it's something you want there. You also want to make sure you're setting the appropriate thing for the armor plate behavior. A lot of people do apply all, so I'm going to do that there as well. And then over in the advanced settings, you want to make sure that target aim assist is on. The aim assist type is Black Ops, because Black Ops 1 is kind of broken right now. They really haven't fixed it, and it is very, very strong. So you want to make sure you're hitting Black Ops there on the aim assist and advanced. That's going to pretty much do it for the advanced stuff. There are other things you can change as well, and if you want to change those things, you can, such as the sprint, auto move, tactical sprint. All of that stuff is in here, so make sure you're looking at this and make sure that everything is how you want it to be before jumping into Warzone. The biggest and most important thing is we don't know yet what the meta will be in Warzone, so the biggest thing you want to do is try different guns. You want to use whatever guns you pick up and just kind of play with them and see how they behave, how they do with certain attachments to them, how you feel like you're doing with the weapon, because who knows, if you pick up an M4 and you're just not good with it, someone that is really, really good with an M4 will melt you and you'll be like, oh, the M4 is just not good. And that's not necessarily the case. It's just the fact that some people are better with certain guns, some people are better with different iron sights. So make sure you're just trying different guns. When you drop down from the plane, just go and grab a couple guns, play with them and get better with them, understand what the gun is and how to use it, and ultimately just keep trying different guns. That's like the most important thing starting this out, because we don't know what the meta will be yet, and so who knows, you might even make the meta. The next thing to go over is the view of the map and finding where the drop zones are, what drop zone you enjoy, and learning the map and where people seem to like to go. So you're going to want to kind of jump, and if you jump in the cities, you're going to know most people are going to be jumping in those cities as well. If you want kind of a not so fast pace, you kind of want to grind it out and get to the end, you can also land outside of cities and stuff. There are things you can loot there, but you will most likely see less people trying to go for the same stuff. But if you're wanting that gameplay, if you're wanting that action quick, the big cities are the places to go. The next thing is the buy stations, and these are a little different than they have been in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, where Warzone 1 was. And the biggest difference is what they offer. They don't always offer the same thing. Like in Warzone 1, every single buy station you would go to would have the same things, including your loadouts and all that stuff, or it would have, you could buy UAVs, all of that stuff. Well, in this game, not all the buy stations have UAVs available or mortar strikes available or whatever. You kind of have to find which ones have which ones available, and then you can go ahead and buy them like that. Also, something new, there's only a certain amount of kill streaks, so you can't just set and continue to go there and buy UAVs and everything. Like, once you buy how many ever UAVs is available in that buy station, once you buy all of them, you can't buy any anymore for the rest of the game. So you kind of have to pay attention to which ones have what, how many have been bought, and kind of use that to your advantage. Just keep in mind, again, all kill streak, you can't just keep buying them over and over again. They're basically a set amount or set number of certain kill streaks that you can only buy so many times. And then the last thing to kind of note in the buy station is you can only buy your primary gun. You cannot buy your whole loadout, and this is kind of different than in Warzone 1, where you could kind of just get your whole loadout and you would be set to go and you would have your own loadout. This game, you can only buy one basically primary weapon at a time, and unless you have like what, 15k or something laying around, you can't really buy your whole load up and your whole setup. So keep that in mind while you're playing. The next thing to learn is going to be game pace, and this kind of comes back to knowing the map, knowing where you're dropping and how fast paced or how slow it's going to be, and knowing where you're at is going to kind of depend on what type of game style or game pace you play. So if you're dropping in the middle of a city, you're going to be most likely playing at a faster game pace. You're going to want a gun as far as being able to use a weapon that is more fast paced. So you're not going to probably want to run around with an LMG and a sniper in the cities, because you're not going to be able to have that quick aim down sights if you run into somebody with like a sniper and stuff, unless you can just quick scope like a god. If you can, then go ahead, go for it and do what you will, but you're going to kind of want to use that if you're in kind of open spaces, or if you're in mountains or whatever. Then a sniper might be best for you to be able to view kind of what's going on and take people out that way. And SMG is not really going to be helpful, or a shotgun isn't really going to be helpful unless it's up and close to personal, which again you find more in the cities and not out in the middle of nowhere. The next thing I want to tell you is vehicles now require fuel, so you will not be able to just kind of run around vehicles all game until the end and everything. The vehicles themselves need to be refueled, so just kind of knowing where the fueling stations are, you can actually stop at the fueling station and get filled back up and continue your drive around. I know there's actually a group of people that really enjoy using vehicles and kind of use them to win in the end. So this is something that is kind of important to know, that you do run out of fuel, so you can't drive around all day on one tank of gas. You have to know where the refueling stations are. You have to stop there and refuel your vehicle. The next to last tip I have is try to play with friends if at all possible. This is going to help with comms. This is going to help with just having more fun and kind of knowing where people are, because if you're just playing in a normal lobby, you're playing by yourself and someone gets downed, you don't know where they came from unless they have proximity chat on and they're yelling and screaming of where they got shot at. But if you're playing with friends, someone gets down and says, hey, they're in this building in the top floor, then you instantly know where you need to be aiming to be able to take out the enemy and help your buddy up. So if you can, play with friends as much as possible. And then the last thing to note here is have fun. Have fun with the game. Don't take it too seriously to start out. I mean, you could be a serious player, but don't take it serious to start out. Otherwise, you're not going to really enjoy playing it long term. So enjoy Battle Royale. Enjoy what it has to offer. There's going to be things changing. There's going to be weapon metas. There's going to be drop metas. There's going to be everything along the way. So just try to enjoy it. Enjoy the ride and have fun with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Warzone 2. If you have any questions, comment them down below. I will do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. I read every single comment on every single video, so I'll do my best to answer. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also, feel free to hit that red subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Slacker out.